Hey guys! Welcome back. And I'm so excited to share this story because it's different from the ones I've posted before. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and happy Pride Month. I decided to do a Pride special week here on my channel because I have so much love for the LGBTQIA plus community. And what better way to celebrate than with stories about love, acceptance, and being true to yourself. So make sure to stay tuned if you haven't already. Now let's get into the story. The sound of rain pattering softly against the dormitory window blended with the faint hum of a love song playing in the background. The melody was melancholic, yet hopeful, mirroring the emotions churning within Ari. She sat on her bed, the worn fabric, a familiar comfort beneath her, her gaze fixed on the sketchbook in her lap. Her fingers, slender and nimble, danced across the paper, bringing to life the portrait of her roommate, Lila. Ari's strokes were precise, capturing every nuance of Lila's face, the curve of her lips, the sparkle in her eyes, but it was the unspoken feelings in the drawing that truly resonated. In Ari's depiction, Lila seemed to glow, her features radiating a warmth that hinted at the fiery spirit that burned within. Lila herself was sprawled on the other bed, her attention absorbed in her phone. A soft smile played on her lips as she scrolled through social media, her laughter echoing softly in the small room. A melody that was as soothing to Ari as any song. Their room was a testament to their friendship, adorned with shared mementos and inside jokes. Postcards from their travels, concert tickets, and framed photographs chronicled their adventures. But amidst these tangible reminders of their bond, there was an undercurrent of something deeper, something that neither girl had acknowledged. It was late at night, the kind of late that whispered secrets and brought confessions on the tip of the tongue. The soft glow of the neon sign outside their window painted stripes of color across their walls, casting them in hues of pink and purple. For Ari, these nights were the most excruciating. The quiet hum of the city was a constant reminder of the distance between them. A physical space that mirrored the emotional one she felt within herself. Their friendship had been a slow burn, starting with shy smiles in class and hesitant waves in the hallway. Over time, their paths intertwined, weaving a tapestry of shared laughter, late-night talks, and comfortable silences. They were polar opposites, yet somehow their personalities meshed seamlessly. Lila, with her cascading auburn hair and eyes that sparkled with mischief, was the embodiment of sunshine. Her laugh was infectious, her spirit free-spirited, her presence a constant source of light in Ari's often gloomy world. Ari, on the other hand, found solace in the quiet corners of their room, content to observe the world through her art. With her short black hair and eyes that held the depth of a starless night, she was drawn to the shadows, finding beauty in the muted tones of gray and blue. Despite their differences, their bond deepened. They were each other's confidants, sharing dreams and fears in hushed whispers. But as the weeks turned into months, Ari's feelings evolved from admiration to something more profound. She found herself wanting to be closer to Lila, not just emotionally, but physically too. Yet she held back, her fear a constant companion. How could she risk their friendship? How could she expose the vulnerability within? One evening, Lila flopped onto Ari's bed uninvited, as she always did. Her energy, a whirlwind that swept into the room and settled on Ari's bed with a soft thud. "What's got you so engrossed, Ari?" she asked, tilting her head as she looked at the sketchbook in Ari's hands. Ari blushed, startled by the sudden interruption. She quickly tried to hide her work, but Lila was already peering over her shoulder. "Is that me again?" she teased, a playful smirk on her face. Ari couldn't help but grin back. Maybe it was the dim lighting or the soft glow of Lila's smile, but their shared laughter echoed in the small room, filling it with warmth. "Maybe," Ari replied, her voice barely a whisper. Lila's eyes, usually sparkling with mischief, grew serious, her expression thoughtful. "You always draw me like I'm glowing," she said, tracing the lines of her own face in the sketch. Ari met Lila's gaze, her heart pounding. The air crackled between them, charged with unspoken emotions. "You do?" she said softly, her voice barely audible. A long silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken feelings. It wasn't an uncomfortable silence, but one filled with possibilities, a pregnant pause that hinted at confessions and revelations. The only sound that filled the room was the gentle patter of rain against the window pane, a soft melody that underscored the intensity of the moment. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance, a dramatic backdrop to the internal turmoil that raged within Ari. Finally, Lila broke the silence, her voice quieter now, yet no less impactful. "Ari, can I ask you something real?" she began, her fingers twisting in the fabric of her sheet. Ari nodded, her eyes fixed on Lila, her whole body tensed in anticipation of what was to come. In the quiet intimacy of their room, beneath the soft glow of the lamp on their desk, Ari's heart raced. The sketchbook slipped from her grasp and lay forgotten on the bed. Lila's question hung in the air, demanding an answer, urging honesty. The room seemed to shrink, the walls closing in as Ari grappled with how to respond. The moment stretched, each second echoing in the confines of their small space. "Do you feel it too?" Lila continued, her eyes searching Ari's face. "This thing between us." Ari's breath hitched in her throat, her fingers clenched into fists as she wrestled with her emotions. The dam she had spent so long building threatened to break, releasing the torrent of feelings she had kept at bay for so long. Outside, the rain intensified, drumming against the glass like 1,000 tiny fingers, urging her to speak, to reveal the truth. "I do," she whispered, the word hanging between them like a confession. With that simple admission, the world shifted on its axis. The unspoken hung in the air, solidifying the bond between them in a way that neither had anticipated. It was a revelation, a recognition of the feelings that had been simmering beneath the surface for so long. The silence that followed wasn't awkward or uncomfortable. Instead, it was charged with a new energy, a tangible connection that had been forged in the fires of honesty. Without another word, Lila reached out, her hand finding Ari's. Their fingers intertwined, and Ari felt a jolt of electricity course through her. Lila's touch was grounding, anchoring her to the present moment. "Then stop hiding," Lila said, her voice firm yet gentle. "I'm right here. I've always been right here." The days that followed were a revelation. What once was unspoken became voiced. What was hidden bloomed into the open. Their love story wasn't a grand affair, but a series of quiet moments that resonated with profound significance. There were hand grazes during lectures, lingering touches in crowded hallways. Under the cover of night, they explored their feelings, their love growing with each shared secret, each whispered dream. One evening, as the sky blazed with colors, painting a masterpiece of clouds and hues of orange and purple, Lila led Ari to the rooftop of the arts building. The city sprawled beneath them, a tapestry of lights twinkling in the distance. Fireworks exploded in the sky, their vibrant trails mirroring the emotions that danced in Ari's heart. Turning to Ari, Lila's eyes shone with a gentle fierceness. "I don't want to be your almost or your maybe," she said, her voice echoing in the vast expanse of the rooftop. "I want to be your right now. Your always." Tears welled up in Ari's eyes, blurring the image of Lila in front of her. With trembling hands, she cupped Lila's face, her touch feather-light yet charged with emotion. Finally, after months of yearning, she leaned in and kissed her. It was a soft, shaky beginning, hesitant yet filled with years of longing. Lila responded with a tenderness that mirrored Ari's feelings, her arms winding around Ari's waist, pulling her closer. When they pulled away, breathless and slightly dazed, a smile touched Ari's lips. It was a smile that reached her eyes, crinkling them at the corners and lighting up her face with joy. "You're not just in my art," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You're in my heart, right here. Stay with me." Lila's smile widened, her eyes shining with happiness. "Always," she breathed, the word hanging in the air between them, sealing their love story under the canopy of a twilight sky filled with fireworks and whispered promises.